A Japanese soldier killed 30 people in the Philippines. Between 1945 and 1974, 29 years after World War II ended. He wasn't a war criminal who escaped justice. He was a soldier who refused to believe the war was over. When they finally caught him, they had to fly in his commanding officer from Japan just to make him stop. His name was Hiroo Onoda, and somehow he became a national hero. This is the most insane war story ever told, and it gets darker the more you learn. December 1944. Hiroo Onoda gets his orders from Major Taniguchi as Japan is losing the Philippines. Never surrender, keep fighting, we'll come back for you. He takes it literally. When the war ends in 1945, Onoda and 3 other soldiers disappear into the jungle. They survive on coconuts, stolen rice, whatever they can find. They raid villages for supplies. They shoot at anyone who gets close. One by one, his companions fall. One surrenders in 1950. Another gets killed in 1954. The last one dies in 1972. And Onoda? He keeps going. Search parties come looking. His family shows up with loudspeakers begging him to come home. The Japanese government drops thousands of leaflets from planes, newspapers showing the surrender, photos proving the war is over. Onoda finds them all and thinks it's propaganda, enemy psychological warfare designed to break him. He's trained for this. He expects tricks. So he ignores everything and continues his mission. For 29 years, he lives like a machine. Wake up, maintain weapons, gather intelligence, stay hidden, survive. His uniform rots away. His boots disintegrate. But his rifle stays clean and his sword stays sharp. The locals call him a ghost, a demon. 30 people die in confrontations with him over the decades. He thinks they're enemy combatants. They're just farmers and police trying to stop a man who won't accept reality. Then in 1974, a Japanese college student named Norio Suzuki decides he wants to find a panda, the abominable snowman, and Hiroo Onoda. He actually tracks Onoda down in the jungle. They talk. Onoda says he'll only surrender if his commanding officer personally orders him to stand down. Suzuki goes back to Japan, finds the now-retired Major Taniguchi, and convinces him to fly to the Philippines. March 9, 1974. The Major walks up to Onoda and gives the order, "Lieutenant Onoda, your mission is over. The war has ended." Only then does Onoda lower his weapon. The crowd watching isn't celebrating. They're traumatized. This man has terrorized them for 3 decades. Japan treats him like a hero. Parades, interviews, book deals. He becomes a symbol of loyalty and duty. But in the Philippines, people want him prosecuted for murder. President Marcos pardons him to avoid an international incident. But the pain remains. Onoda never apologized. He died in 2014 at 91, still believing he did his duty. The question that haunts this story: was he the most dedicated soldier in history, or just a man too stubborn to admit he was wrong? He spent 29 years fighting a war that was already lost, refusing every piece of evidence that contradicted what he wanted to believe. And here's what makes it terrifying. How many of us are doing the exact same thing? Holding on to beliefs, fighting battles, refusing to accept reality because admitting we're wrong feels like surrender? Onoda's story isn't just about one soldier in the jungle. It's about what happens when loyalty becomes delusion, when dedication becomes destruction, and when we're so committed to our mission that we can't see the war is already over.